Literate Discussions with M. David Hornbuckle.
Welcome to another episode of Literate Discussions. I noticed in the last two of these I actually said the wrong name for this video series, but it's Literate Discussions. And today we have Gene Hult, who is the author of the poetry books Render and Catfish After. He's also an editor. He also teaches now at the San Jacinto South University in Houston, Texas. Welcome, Gene.
Hi, David. How are you doing?
Great. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
So, William Carlos
Williams. I was
Williams.
actually teaching him today.
Really? Just coincidentally? Just coincidentally?
Yeah, this just happened that way. Yes. This is, I taught my imagery lesson today, and so he comes up.
As he would, right?
As he would,
Yeah,
as the images.
So let's maybe talk about the poem that everybody either loves or hates or loves to hate.
Okay.
So much depends on a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. And everybody always says, why? What does it mean? What depends
what the
on
hell's
a
that?
red wheelbarrow? Yeah.
So, but you have to go back and start with imagery, right? And what is imagery to even talk about this at all? Right.
Right.
Imageries are units of information that we transfer back and forth as people, right? So the sensory information that we can write down, and they exist 100 million years later in a different location in someone else's brain. It is the way we transfer sensory feelings, words, right? Just images,
Right.
pictures. All I say six senses, but they're all there. And so he's an imagist poet. He writes much of the time in pure images, right? His big, it's in one of the poems, sort of a song, right? Which is, I think, a piece of Patterson. Compose, no ideas but in things, invent, saxifrage is my flower that splits the rock. That is basically his overall credo, and it comes up over and over again when you're talking about Williams, is no ideas but in things. So he's presenting a pure thing, an image. But the trick about images is they are not the thing.
Right.
The other thing I teach when I'm teaching imagery in William Carlos Williams is Magritte. And I bring up, this is not a pipe, which I'm not even going to try to say in French because I don't know French.
Right,
but it's
sure.
called, the painting is actually called The Treachery of Images. This is not a pipe. The painting of a pipe, and it says underneath it, this is not a pipe in French. René Magritte, around the same time as William Carlos Williams, actually, right? They're both modernist artists.
Sure.
And he's right. It's not a pipe. It's a painting of a pipe. There is no pipe there. There is just a picture of it. It is just an image of a pipe. Treachery of images. This is not a pipe. Not a pipe. And so you put this picture up, and you're going to put this picture up. Not only is it not a painting of a pipe, not a pipe, it's not even a painting of a pipe, it is an electronic bit light version of a photo of that painting. So it's really, really far removed from pipe at this point, right?
Right.
You can't smoke it. You can't even touch it at this point. An actual painting like a Magritte painted is a physical object, which you can touch and feel, but it's not a pipe, right? You can't smell it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the image alone. Now, William Carlos Williams is playing with this too, I think. And he is presenting pure things. He's presenting the images of the things, the semiotic signposts of the things, the words. They're not the actual things themselves. They are only representations of the things. Connected, sure. Our human brains turn them into the actual things that we can experience and live in our head like dreams. Kind of an amazing, magical thing that language can do, what poetry can do. William Carlos Williams is presenting a single image, or three images if you want to get really specific, with very little commentary, right? Only one half sentence of commentary, a clause of commentary.
So much depends. Right.
So much depends. And it's removed. It's like beer spilled. It's passive voice, right? Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
So much depends. It's not even, there's no active entity in that.
Right. Nobody knows who or what is depending on these
Right.
things.
Or
Right.
to whom? To
Right.
us? To everyone? To America? I don't know.
Right.
So then he just presents his image. A wheelbarrow with the word broken for some reason, glazed with rainwater like a donut. So it just rained, apparently, or someone wet it for some reason. And then a white chickens. They're not moving or squawking, they're just white. They're not muddy or anything, they're white. Who knows what they're doing? They're just hanging out, right, by the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
That's
How they
it.
remain white in the rain, who knows? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's concrete they're on. We don't know.
Yeah.
But because of the simplicity of the images, we start filling in information. And because he set it up as something important in that little clause, so much depends upon, we endeavor, we try to find out why. We try to answer the questions of it that it brings up. But really, there's no wheelbarrow there. It's a broken word of wheelbarrow. It's not even the correct spelling. It's in pieces. It's broken.
Yeah, and he does that. Well, throughout the poem, in the 4 little mini stanzas, each one ends with a single 2-syllable word. So I guess he was just trying to keep with his pattern there, and also, and other than the word upon, the other three are like central words to the image that he's painting there, right? Barrow, water,
Although
chickens.
chickens,
So I think by
right,
putting that on a separate line, he's calling special attention to the image itself.
right, the word that's on the previous line is a modifier to the root word there.
Rain,
Although
water,
barrow and
wheelbarrow.
Yes, right. Chickens, water.
White chickens, right. White chickens, wheelbarrow, rain, water. So the
barrow,
modifier
water,
and
and chickens.
Yeah.
So you look on the internet at all, and immediately you get, it's a defense of pastoral America, the farm culture. It's talking about how we need to shore up our farmers and return to the hard work that Americans have always done. That's not in there.
Right. Yeah. And I have a lot of students who apparently, I have a lot of students who always make that argument that they found somewhere on the internet, I'm sure. Yeah. Every year
it's everywhere on
see
the
that.
internet. Like, first thing you look is it's about the power of American hard work and how to save the American farm. Sure.
Yeah. William Carlos Williams is a doctor.
As much as anything else. I had a
Yeah.
student tell me that he must have been a farmer. I'm like, no, he was a pediatrician.
Yeah.
In Paterson, New Jersey.
Right. One of the most unrural places in America.
So for me personally, I mean, I like all the different interpretations you can get about the pastoral and rural and the farmer stuff. Those are fine, right? It could be in there too. But for me, because he's an imagist, I go meta, right? So much depends on the presentation of these images and the understanding, the transference between humans of these images. That's what I think depends the most, is the fact that they're images at all, that they're representations of things in words that we can discuss as actual things, even though they're just pure energy. I mean, you can make an argument that objects are pure energy too. That's what they are, but they're just solidified energy. But words are just concepts. So much depends on the ability to transfer these individual, unique images from person to person. That's what I get from.
Okay.
That's what I teach you with.
I think that's the best explanation I've ever heard. So that makes sense to me.
But,
awesome.
It's also true that it's just a wheelbarrow, just some chickens, and just some water.
Yep.
Right? You can be really basic about it, because he was.
Yeah, just the image itself. And I think that, the other famous poem that we always talk about, This Is Just to Say, also depends on a very simple transmission of images.
Yeah, it does.
And, this poem is, of course, ripe for parody, and there are
Oh,
hundreds
sure.
hundreds of parodies of this poem on the internet. If you
I'm
Google
sure
this is just
Red
to say
Wheelbarrow
parody,
is too.
probably, but I think that because of the kind of like, aren't I a cute little stinker quality of the apology, and this is just to say,
Totally.
it's ripe for the types of parodies like let me just pull one up real quick. I have closed the tabs that were in the browser and which you were probably saving to read. Forgive me, they hogged memory and were so old. So
That goes,
they go on and on. There's one about like stealing the money that you hid under the mattress. But it's just like they go on and on. Anyway,
no, absolutely. I mean, it's a half-assed apology, right? At
right.
best.
And half-assed, but which is supported by the beauty of the images that he chooses to support
Absolutely.
it. Right.
And the plums are in the icebox. You are getting exact, correct words that all sound lovely in this plums, icebox, breakfast, and then so sweet and so cold, and that sadness. It's almost in that, the wistfulness of that, right? The thing I like the best about this poem is how it points to a long-term relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There's a casual, caring, but also a casual cruelty about it. Right?
Yeah.
It's so offhand. I know you wanted these, but I couldn't help myself, and I know you'll forgive me. It really does point to that casual harshness that can creep into relationships. That's just part of human interaction, and I really like that kind of offhand meanness about it. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think this is as echoing a poem as Red Wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
I like the how much more personal it seems from him, because sometimes you can get
absolutely.
Clinical. He's a doctor. He gets clinical.
Sure.
Right. He
comes with the territory.
He's not always. Sometimes he's sexually present. A lot of the poems that are on your list there, he's lusting after random women and talking about them. Comparing them to
Right. The Young Housewife, Portrait of a Lady. Yeah.
All of
Even
them
Queen
are
Anne's Lace,
comparing them to trees, petals, forests, bushes.
Yeah.
He gets very.
Yeah.
You can see what his little fetishes are pretty clearly.
Yeah.
This though is a fruit as well. This is the fruit of a tree, right? A plum.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. So that it fits in with his whole worldview here as women as fruit. Well, fruit is not the worst metaphor for the fertility aspect of females. It's not.
It's absolutely apt. Okay. Well, that was I think we roared through that discussion, but I think I got a lot of good stuff here. It was really great talking to you. Good to see you again.
Great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Literate Discussions with M. David Hornbuckle.